Developments in East Asia. For the first objective, it's going to be about systems of government in Chinese dynasties. Those three are the main ideas on what this topic is talking about. To understand it, we must start with the idea of centralized monarchy. From the Qin dynasty onward, emperors held absolute power, ruling as the son of heaven under the mandate of heaven, a brief that heaven granted the right to rule based on virtue. This concept wasn't just religious, it was political. If a dynasty became corrupt or failed to govern well, natural disasters or rebellions were seen as signs that heaven had withdrawn its favor, justifying a new ruler. The king also introduced a strong legalist system with centralized laws and a centralized burgesy, laying the groundwork for future dynasties. Over time, dynasties like the Han, Tang, Song, and Ming refined this system by blending Confucian philosophy with government structure. Confucianism emphasized hierarchy, duty, and moral leadership, which shaped the role of officials and the emperor. The civil service examination system became a key innovation, starting with the Han and expanding in later dynasties, where scholars were tested on Confucian texts to earn government positions. This created a merit-based burgesy that helped stabilize governance across vast territories. Even though dynasties changed, the core structure of a more centralized government led by educated officials remained consistent for over 2,000 years. In conclusion, focus on three pillars: the emperor's divine legitimacy, mandate of heaven, the Confucian-based burgesy, and the civil service exams. These elements evolve but stay central to how Chinese dynasties ruled and maintained order. For the second objective, it's about effects of Chinese cultural traditions on East Asia. Those two being the main ideas or main topic of this objective. When talking about it, we're looking at how ideas and practices from China spread to nearby countries like Korea, Japan, and Vietnam, and shaped their societies over time. Think of China as a cultural big sibling in the region. Its system of thought, government, writing, and religion were admired and often adopted by its neighbors. One of the most important traditions was Confucianism, which taught people to respect authority, value education, and honor their families. These ideas became the foundation for how governments were run and how people behaved in everyday life across East Asia. Another major influence was the Chinese writing system. Chinese characters were used in Korea, Japan, and Vietnam, allowing scholars in different countries to read and write in similar ways. This helped spread literature, laws, and religious texts. Speaking of religion, Buddhism, which came to China from India, was reshaped by Chinese thinkers and then passed on to other East Asian cultures, influencing their temples, art, and spiritual practices. Even holidays like Lunar New Year became shared traditions celebrated in different ways but rooted in Chinese customs. So when learning about this topic, the key takeaway is this: Chinese culture didn't stay inside China, it flowed outward, shaping the way other East Asian societies thought, governed, and celebrated. Over time, each country made these traditions their own, but the Chinese influence is still easy to spot even today. As for the last objective, it's about effects of innovation on the Chinese economy. Those two being the main idea on this topic. To understand it, we must think of it as a story of transformation. In the late 20th century, China was mostly focused on farming and basic manufacturing, but starting in the 1980s, the government introduced reforms that opened the country to new ideas, foreign investments, and modern technology. This allowed China to become a global manufacturing center, producing everything from clothes to electronics. Innovation during this time meant improving how things were made, building factories, and lifting millions of people out of poverty. As time went on, China didn't just copy technology. it started creating its own as well. In the 2000s and beyond, the government invested heavily in science, engineering, and education. Chinese companies began developing new products in areas like smartphones, electric vehicles, and artificial intelligence. Innovation became a key driver of economic growth, helping China move from low-cost production to high-tech leadership. So when studying this objective, we're looking at how new ideas and technologies help China grow from a developing country into one of the world's biggest economies.